Good morning, afternoon, evening, or nighttime, wherever and whenever you may be watching. Thanks for clicking. Today's video is going to be a direct carry on from the last video, wherever it is, where I go into the house of Saltworks. This is a discovery set given to me by a friend in work, and they've got 10 fragrances. I discussed the first 5 on the last video. Let's get into the next 5. The first fragrance to start us off is Love Story, which is white florals and rose, I think. So white florals I normally associate with jasmine, which, like Alien by Thierry Mugler and things like that. So we'll see where this goes. I think there is jasmine, but it's done in an interesting way. Maybe that rose is kind of like, this is nice. This is quite nice. It's better than I expected, if I'm being honest. I thought this was going to be a generic women's smell. Out of all of them so far, maybe this one smells the most mature. But again, that's just my nose. I associate jasmine and white florals with perhaps slightly older smells. I quite like this though. I think there's maybe something coming through of a Chanel Coco Mademoiselle, I think. This isn't bad at all. There's something, this is going to make me sound so vain and so pompous, but there's something very French about it. I can't explain it to you. It just, there's something that I've been to Paris twice, which is, not much at all. But there's something about this that makes me think of Paris. Yeah, kind of like a slightly older, slightly powdery, not overly, classy sort of fragrance. This is very classy, I would say. I like it though. On to the next fragrance, we have Midnight Orchid. Now I'm going to say, I know this is a case of mind over matter, but any time that I've smelled a fragrance that has orchid in the title, and especially like nighttime, I feel like Midnight Orchid, I'm surprised it's not already a fragrance. I feel like a lot of people associate orchid fragrances with nighttime. They don't work for me. There's something about them which I just don't like. Hopefully I'll be proved wrong with this one. The notes in this listed are orange flower, vanilla, and jasmine. It's fine. Yeah, the curse carries on with me not liking fragrances with orchid in the name. It is quite fresh, I'll give it that. It's not terrible. I don't like it. It just kind of smells, it's weird. It doesn't smell dated. It doesn't smell like a super mature woman's fragrance. Definitely feminine, definitely. Yeah, I'm not too sure what to think of it. If anything, surprisingly, it smells a little bit watery. I guess the watery aspect is coming from the orange flower. It's not awful, but for some reason, just me, it's not my favorite. Maybe my least favorite so far. Moving on, we have Rock Rose, which is cashmere wood and rose. I'm curious to try this one. I do like rose in fragrances. I like the different ways it can be used, whether it's like a jammy, thick rose, or if it's like an airy, pretty sort of rose. I like this a lot. I happily wear rose fragrances. Again, a lot of people would associate this with being a femme. I think all of these really do lean more into the feminine. There are some that are definitely unisex, like the fig and the orange fragrance. This leans more feminine. The very first sniff was really nice. I feel like the rose was definitely the strongest component. And already to me now, this has gone into a more generic smell, which is fine. Like, as I said in my last video, ultimately I don't buy many women's fragrances, so don't, you know what I mean, just because I'm saying I'm not mad keen on it, don't take that as they're bad fragrances. It's just something I don't wear myself, I don't buy much of. But to me, there is kind of like a watery rose thing going on. The very opening was really nice. That cashmere wood now is kind of giving me almost like a pencil shavings vibe. But yeah, ultimately, it's not a big love for me. It just leans more in that sort of generic sort of category. It's nice though. It's pleasant. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. Rock Rose. Second to last, we have, again, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Rose Boheme. Let's go for that. And it says Bulgarian rose, patchouli, and a hint of oud. I'm excited for this one because I think this will be a jammy, thick rose to go with the oud. Let's see where it goes. Nice. It is nice. There's definitely oud. Definitely get that. This is again, this is a surprising one to put in with the other fragrances. The others kind of go for that sort of fresh, almost borderline aquatic sort of smell. This is oud, quite heavy. Yeah, oud and patchouli. I don't get perhaps as much rose as I would like, but I do like this fragrance. Again, maybe compared to the others, but this is really nice. This is putting me in the mind of something like Javoy Paris fragrance. Maybe there's a touch of something chocolatey going on, which again, patchouli can go off in a chocolatey direction. This is definitely the most acquired taste fragrance out of these 10. But as someone who is a fan of oud, I don't know, it's probably not real oud. I doubt it's real oud. But again, for the prices of the fragrances, which £95 for 100ml is quite good. I like this a lot. This one I would say is definitely a try before you buy, because if you don't like that sort of like Middle Eastern strong oud sort of smell, it's quite forward in this. Borderline smells like incense sticks, which I really like as well. Yeah, this is a good one. And then finally we have Tabac Soleil, which I think would mean tobacco sun tobacco Soleil. I don't know for definite. Anyway, the notes are citrus, caramel, and tobacco. So let's give this a go. Again, the notes sound like it could be up my street. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, this is good. This is nice. Somewhat in the realm of Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, Tabac Rouge by Fade On, and something like Velvet Teddy by MAC. This is nice. It's definitely got a little bit of citrus going on, but nothing distinguishable. Like nothing like, ooh, that smells like orange. That smells like lemon. Like it just adds a freshness to otherwise a very velvety, smooth tobacco sort of fragrance. This I really like. And this, out of all of them, is the one that is most comparable to other fragrances. I like this a lot. I thought the caramel would make it lean more sweeter than it is, and more, well, it is sweet, but I thought it would lean it more into a much more feminine direction, whereas to me, this is totally unisex. The caramel is there though, which does add an interesting twist, because those fragrances that I mentioned before, like Tobacco Vanille and Tabac Rouge and all that, they're kind of more one-dimensional. Like not more one-dimensional, but they go off in a different sort of facet, if you will. Whereas this, the caramel, you can smell. If you're a fan of sort of like winter warmer drinks, you know what I mean? Like special, when coffee shops do special cinnamon and that sort of clove and things like that, you may be into this. Yeah, Tabac Soleil, probably one of my favorites. But I think my favorite is still L'Orangerie. That wraps up the 2 videos on Saltworks Discovery Set. I'll leave their website in the description below. Again, the fact that they offer a 10ml travel spray I think is great. I wish every company would do it. And to be honest, there are 1 or 2 fragrances here that I would consider buying. Definitely at least a travel spray of. Check them out. Discovery Set is a good price. They also do candles, reed diffusers and whatnot. But yeah, quite an interesting, well-priced house. Catch you on the next video. Peace!